Well, hello stampers, it's the Pampered Stamper, and welcome to a retry of Stamping Through My Stash. So my name is Jackie Bolcha, and I am a Canadian demonstrator, but also a Dutch demonstrator. And the way that works is, well, when you're a Canadian and you fall in love with the Dutchman and end up spending a fair bit of time in Holland, and you can get a bank account, then you can also become a demonstrator in a different country. And with COVID, I switched my business to online. And so here I am. So I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, but I hope to basically, my goal is to just teach card making to people all over the world. And while I can only sell stamps in Canada or in Europe, I can sell my tutorials all over the world, and that makes me really happy because I really do love to teach, and that's why I do these videos. So Stamping Through My Stash started because I had stamp sets on my shelf that had never seen ink. So every Wednesday, I pick a set from my shelf that I haven't used yet, and I make a card with it. And I just show you what the stamps look like. And so let me show you what we're working with today. Here we go. So this was the stamp set that I had and that I hadn't used yet, and I'd had it for a few months already. I really do love it. So I was looking to see what Stampin' Up! Had done with it, and this is really the only card they have. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. And my first thought was, how did they make it look like that? And I'm thinking, well, I think it's patterned paper. And then when I looked at my pattern paper, I couldn't find it. So I thought, okay, then I know what to do. We're going to make the vellum or the alcohol and ink technique, but it had been a while since I had done it. So my first attempt was terrible, and I will show it to you. But first I'm going to show you the paper because eventually on my second go round I did find the paper. So let's have a look before we get started. This paper is beautiful, and it's called, oh goodness, what is it called? Expressions in Ink. So basically they've made paper with that technique, and I just love it. So I'm just going to show it to you all. And just really bright colors. And this paper is the one that had, this is the side I was looking for and could not find. Okay? Super beautiful. So I'm going to try to recreate that. And in the meantime, I'm going to do something with the paper as well. So just gorgeous paper. Yeah, that's the other side of this one. It's super artistic. So some of it you would want to use in smaller quantities because it's a little bit overwhelming, but just gorgeous. And the thing with paper is you really do have to chop it. Don't hoard it. Once you cut it up, you'll be more likely to create with it. You know, you didn't get paper to lay on the shelf, so use your paper, turn it into something beautiful, and there we have it. So there's 12 sheets, double-sided paper. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the stamp set, and then we'll do the technique, okay? That's going to be the order of things. So I'm going to use my Stamparatus, and we're just going to stamp a couple things before we make our card. So I won't stamp them all because I stamped some yesterday and I saved my samples so I can show you. So here's just a piece of white cardstock. I'm putting it in place in my Stamparatus, which is a stamp positioning tool. It helps you to stamp over and over again in the same place. It also helps you that if you don't stamp it properly the first time, you can do it again. So let's do happy birthday, okay? So I've got the big happy, and I'm going to stamp that in pool party. So I like to stamp the big block letters in the lighter color and then the other one in a darker shade. So I'm keeping an eye on my video. I have no idea what happened, but I've had some issues with videoing this week. Sometimes it's the internet, and sometimes it might be the operator, which is me. Anyway, hopefully this will work. So this is, oh, yeah, no, I'm doing it right. I thought for a minute I had done it wrong, but I didn't. So that's the happy. I'm going to do it once more just to give it a little bit more coverage. There. And I was looking for my chamois. Here it is. I'm going to clean that off. You should always clean your stamps before you put them back in your case just to prevent accidents, because if you forget and you don't do it, then the next time you grab your stamp, it's going to be icky and you're going to get the wrong color. So now we're going to put the happy birthday. So here's the birthday. And we'll just lay that where we want it to go, like so. Maybe a bit down there. And then I'm going to stamp that with Bermuda Bay. See, and my paper moved, so just tuck it right back into the corner again. And I have an old style of ink pad here. That's okay. You don't have to get rid of all the old. There we go. And there. Sometimes photopolymer, when it's quite new, it doesn't hold on to the ink that well. It kind of, puddles a little bit. So just use it a few times, and then it's seasoned and it does really well. And that's what's so nice about the Stamparatus. See, I could stamp it twice and now it's really, really cool. So that's one alternative. The other way, let me clean this off. I'll show you another way that you can use it, and you can decide which one you like better. So I'm going to turn my paper around just so that it's further away from the hinge. You always want to stamp as far away from the hinge as possible. So here's my birthday. Yeah. And we'll do that with Bermuda Bay again. You guys have trouble maintaining your body temperature. I don't know if it's just my age, but I think it's more to do with activity. I was sitting and I was making cards, and then I was cold, so I put a tank top underneath my sweatshirt. But now I'm busy, I'm talking, I'm videoing, you get a little bit stressed. And now I'm like, oh my word, I need to get rid of a layer. But can't do that when you're making a video. So now I'm just a little warm. Gerard says he just can't keep up with my temperature changes, and he doesn't know how to fix it. I said, well, you don't have to fix it. Be glad you're a man. There. Okay, so here we have the happy. Oops, I'm just laying it so that it's straight. And oh, look, look. Our photopolymer stamps are super sticky, which is great. They stick where you want them to. But it does make the Stamparatus, the paper, move sometimes. There, happy. There. So I can see how it's just a little bit of a bubbly look. Yeah, that will go away after a few uses. There. So now you have two options. You can do happy birthday like this, or you can do happy birthday like that. It depends on how quirky you want it to be. And I also did a couple other ones, like here with the thanks. This is with pale, and was a mistake, okay, that happened yesterday. This is with pale papaya and polished pink. So you can also mix up the sayings. It's just really a fun set. And here I have them facing the same way, okay? So now, are you ready to do our fun technique? Let me just clean off this stamp and we're gonna get going. And yeah, this is fun. I like connecting with you. I have a channel on YouTube, and I also have playlists, and one of them is Stamping Through My Stash, and you can check out the other videos there as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I'd appreciate that. All right, I don't need the Stamparatus now, and like I said to you before, when I first did this, I had made a mistake. So I knew that I needed blends. So here's my blends. I have polished pink, I have pale papaya, and I have pumpkin pie. I knew that I needed alcohol, and you need to use a high percentage of alcohol. So the 99% is great. Do not use the 70%. It will not work. Okay, the higher percentage of alcohol is also more expensive, but you need that. Okay, now the last thing, I thought I needed shimmery white paper. Let me show you what happens when you use shimmery white paper. That's what happens. It's awful. But the thing is, if you use the right product, amazing things happen. So let's have a look. I'm just using a white background so that you can see better. And now I have a piece of vellum. And what you do with the vellum is exactly what I did on this paper. Okay, but it works on vellum and it does not work on shimmery white cardstock. So I'm trying to mimic that card that I had, and it had a bit of orange and pale papaya in the top and on the bottom on these two corners. So I'll start with that, and you're just scribbling. Okay, and And it's really crazy how something this ugly can end up looking so beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit of the light pale papaya, but I usually don't use the light colors at all because they're just too light. They don't seem to do justice. Okay, now a little bit here. And then polished pink. Okay, maybe I'll add a little bit more. There. And the trick is to use enough alcohol, but not so much that the colors run all through each other. It takes a little bit, and you just have to remember to play. And it's okay. Vellum isn't that expensive. It's okay to mess up a little bit. You can also play with different color combinations. See what you like better. Okay. Now the proof is in the pudding. I'm going to use a spritzer. Stampin' Up! Has this little spritzer. I've filled it with alcohol. And I'm also going to use a water pen. Now this is the old aqua painters. I'm going to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in the lid. I'm just going to do that off camera just in case. There. And, oh, I was going to say I have to put the lid on. I can't do that. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you guys can see better. Okay. Let's have a look. So then you can see the magic happen. So I'm going to start with a spritz. Where did it go? Here we go. Okay. Are you ready? There, and then the trick is to wait a little bit. Don't go too fast. And now I want to spread it out a little bit with my, not too much. I'm just adding a little bit of alcohol to spread things out a little bit. There we go. You don't want, you want it to be a swirly mess. You don't want to see blobs like I'm seeing here. And then I'm going to do another one because sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. I'm not happy with that corner. You can get a paper towel, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to just pause this for a second. Okay, I'm just going to pick this up a little bit, and I want to get rid of my puddles. There. Okay, that's better. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I like to get those little lines, and really the more you play with this, the better you'll get at it. I'm not happy with that spot here, so we're going to fix that. Let's see. Here. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this away and let it dry. Okay? And we'll see what happens. Just going to move that. I don't want that puddle there. It's funny, I have to be totally honest with you. When I put the polished pink on the vellum, I really hate that color. I really did. I thought this is really going to be ugly. But it's amazing what happens. So now I'm going to do it again. And a little bit here on the corner. I'm not even going to use the light one this time. Okay. And the polished pink, the dark and the light look quite different. It's like they're not light and dark versions of the same color. Now, I really haven't experimented with like doing circles or different shapes. So maybe I'll try that this time a little bit. Okay. And I also think I'm not going to spritz this time. I'm going to start just with I should look to see how well you guys can see me. See, I'm not in the picture, sorry. Here, I'm moving up a little bit. So I'm just using the aqua painter this time and not the spritzer. I might do the spritzing later. I'm just dropping big drops of alcohol on. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And the trick is to give it a little bit of time to do its magic. Otherwise you end up with too much. And I also didn't think polished pink and pumpkin pie and pale papaya would look good together. But this one's looking quite nice, I have to say. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's not gunshots. Dutch people are crazy about fireworks at this time of the year. So kids buy them. I'm sure grown-ups do too. And you hear them popping during the day. Okay, see how I'm getting a line at the bottom? I don't want that. So I'm just taking my paper, and I probably can't get rid of it anymore, but it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, good. It's mostly on here. Okay. Oh yeah, this is looking quite lovely. Oh my word. Okay. So I'm going to move this out of the way. It's nicer when you let this dry on its own and you don't use a heat gun. Okay, so I'm just going to move it off to the side. And now we're going to do our stamping. Okay, I can move this. And we're going to need the Stamparatus again. Okay, and I have 2 cards ready to go. This one, this is European size, so it's an A4 card. It's going to be a little longer and skinnier than what we're used to. That's okay. I want to use the thanks here. And we're just going to put that on the top corner. I'm just going to move this so that you can actually see it. There, it's going to go right here. And I'm going to stamp that with pale papaya this time. We'll do one in pale papaya, and we'll do one in polished pink. And then you can see. So there we have it. There's my thanks. And you see, it's just a slightly not solid color. So I'm just going to go once more. There. Now we have thanks. And I'm just going to leave it like that, just a plain thanks. We'll put that aside. And this one, we're going to say, I think, hello. Let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, might as well grab it here. There we go. And we'll put the hello, make sure it's not upside down. There. Take the thanks off. There we go. And then the hello is going to go in, oh yeah, polished pink. And the reason I'm doing the stamping now is to let the vellum dry, because you don't want to put wet vellum down on your card. It's not going to work. There we go. The nice thing about using big stamps is then your pattern paper or the fancy paper that you've made is the star of the show. I'm just going to close these up. And then we are going to use a silicone mat and a sponge. Here we go, to do our magic. And we need our Tombow. I'm just cleaning up as I talk to you, because guess what? My sponge that I had ready has vanished. But let's have a look-see. Here's still. So here I have my, I'm going to move the silicone mat for a minute. I have my 2 pieces of vellum. Look how pretty that is. It's not perfectly dry. You can still see a little bit, see that little bit of moisture? I want to wait till that's gone, but isn't it just so pretty? Quite happy with how that turned out. Just going to put that aside. And here's the other one. This one's almost ready to go. Okay, so we'll use this one on here. And then while we're waiting for a second, I'm going to show you what I made yesterday. So yesterday, here is the card that I made. And that's really cool. But you see the thanks? You see how it's kind of inked in? I stamped it, the vellum covered the whole card. So I've learned from that mistake. It doesn't work to stamp your saying on vellum. So now I've trimmed the vellum to be just on the bottom half of the card. But it's just gorgeous, isn't it? And then just some linen thread and that's it. Just simple. And now this card is with the paper. So if you don't want to do all the work, you can get the same look with that gorgeous pattern paper. It's really stunning. It was sold out for quite a while when it first came out in June. So let's have a look. And we're going to put this on now. So now I'm taking my silicone mat. This is vellum, and the best way to adhere vellum is with a sponge and some liquid glue. Excuse me. There we go. It's not COVID. Tests are clear. Oh, guess what? There's a little dimensional underneath. Okay, tap, 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 tap. Just sponge it down all the way, being sure that you get your corners and all your edges. Okay. There. The best way to see that there's a crafter in the house is when you see those little white things laying around. Okay, we'll move that out of the way for a second. And then line up your corners. Because once it's down, you're probably not going to get it off. And you can always do some trimming afterwards. Because I think mine is just a little bit too long, as you can see here. I'll trim it down later with the trimmer. Or maybe I'll do it right away. Let's have a look. The trimmer is a good friend when you make a mistake. Oh, you know what? I'll zoom out now. Let's have a look. Let's see. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to lay it in my trimmer right along the edge here. That groove. And there we go. Extra vellum is now gone. So all that's left to do, here, I'm just going to put this aside. There's a couple little bubbles here. That's okay. I'm going to do this. Well, no, I'll do this one first. Let me see. Yeah, all I need to do is tie some linen thread around. So I'm just going to wrap it around twice. Hold on. I'm going to hold on to this here. And there we go. And I like to tie it, in the catalog they have it tied under the word, but I like to tie it in the blank space. So I'm just going to tie a knot first, there, and then a bow. There we go. And it's just, the whole star of the show is that gorgeous paper. You could use ribbon if you want, but I really like the clean look of the twine. I'm looking for scissors, honestly. Yeah, here they are, underneath my vellum. There. So there's the hello. You could add a little bit of bling if you wanted, but I really like the clean and simple look of this. I could put the friend across there if I wanted to. So there's card one. Now we're going to do the thanks and this one. So vellum mat again. Make sure it's not too sticky. Get rid of that dimensional. We don't need that. Except now my fingers are sticky. Oh, what was I doing? I should not have done that. All right, a little bit of glue pile, and then the sponge. Flatten up your puddle, and then tap, 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 tap all the way over. You notice I got my corners and my edges first. It's kind of like doing a puzzle piece. Those are the most important, and after that you fill it in. There. This would be fun to do with the other colors too. Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Pool Party. It would be really nice to do in blues. It's quite an addictive technique, I have to say. So, there. Yeah, my vellum is just a little bit wider than my card. I have no idea why, but you guys get to see me fix it. You know, no stress, no stress. Just lay it right against the cutting groove, and away we go. And now it's nice and even. It's a little puddly here, but I think that when it dries, I could put it under something heavy. I'll put it under my die cutting machine. And now we're just going to do the twine again. And you could also, instead of doing it straight, you could do it like this a third time around and make it a little messier, a little bit more organic. Tie it in a knot. There we have it. For some reason I tie better when my project is upside down. You could also, if you don't like bows, you could just tie it in a tie. Super pretty, isn't it? And you can just kind of do that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Really happy with that. Okay, it looks like the videoing went well, so I will post this, and I really appreciate it. I'm happy for the kind remarks yesterday when my video went wrong. And yeah, so you remember there's an easy way and a difficult way. So the fun way, the messy way, is to make your own, and the easy way is to use the paper, which is beautiful. And the other thing is, the last thing to remember is use vellum. Do not use shimmery white or you will get this. So techniques can be easy when you use the right tools, and that's why I like to have you learn from my mistakes. All right, guys, have a super day. Thanks for joining me, and you can check out my blog. I would like that very much. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and yeah, you might win a Poinsettia Petals bundle if you do so. So subscribe, comment on your favorite video, and then share one of your favorite videos to Facebook and let me know that you've done so. And when I get to 4,100 subscribers, we will do a draw. Good luck, have a super day, and Happy New Year. Bye.